Hello everyone. Today let's take a deeper dive into one aspect of the Family History Guide. We're going to take a look at the countries portion, which is right up here on the top here. So let's take a look at countries. We're going to take a look at all countries for a moment. As you'll notice, it's divided into areas of the world. So let's click through a couple and see how they have divided it. So let's take a look at, say, Central Europe. If we click on that, it is divided. So you've got Austria, Croatia, Czech Republic, Germany, Poland, Slovakia, Slovenia, Switzerland, and then a Europe miscellaneous. Sometimes we're unsure when we see the designation Central Europe. We're unsure as to what that means. So they break it down very specifically for us, which is nice. Let's take a look at Western and Southern Europe. They break that down as Belgium, France, Greece, Italy, Netherlands, Portugal, Spain, and then Europe miscellaneous. So that's really nice how they break that down for you. So it gives you an idea of where you want to look for specifics. You'll also see that under this tab there's ethnic and a country's knowledge base, and we'll go through that in just a few minutes. You'll also notice, we go back up here to all countries, that this is where they have the larger countries listed across here. There's 61 of them that are considered larger countries. Also, you have more countries, which are smaller countries, and we'll get to that in just a few minutes. So let's see what is available in these larger countries. And if you've watched my trainings before, you'll know that my main country of research is Lithuania. So we're going to go there and learn a little bit about how these countries are structured. So here we have the goals listed across the top, and we have research. We have tabs across the top right here, and all of these pages are structured the same way. They're built on a basic template, which is really great. The Family History Guide has taken great pains to build these on a nice basic template, so you know what you're getting when you go to each country. Some have more, some have less, but you have the basic structure there, which is really a nice way to build so that you know what you're getting. So each country is going to be built the same way. So the number one goal is research, and here we have research, archives and libraries, census and church, go across military, maps, and so forth. Like I said, some countries will have more, some will have less. You'll notice on this third one, census and church, there's a little lightning bolt. We learned from another training by Ann Tanner that a lightning bolt will show you that has direct links that will be under that goal. So let's take a look at that. Number 3, you'll notice it clicked right in, census and church, and if we scroll down, we'll find that there are those quick links, and you can click right onto those, and that will take us to the opportunity to go right to those sources there. So let's go back to goal number 1, and let's take a look at some things here. Okay, many of the countries here have one of these explorations pages, and what those do is it's a very short video that will show you a little bit about the country. And just 30 seconds or less will give you some pictures, kind of a visual of the country. So let's click out of that. We'll go ahead and scroll down. You will notice that there the first choice is learn about Lithuanian genealogy. You'll see pictures, and you will see a lot of resources here. You have a couple of videos. You will have different resources. I will tell you, as I've looked through these goals and resources, the resources that they have pulled are amazing. They have pulled these resources from everywhere. It's amazing. They've pulled from BYU, from YouTube, from private blogs, big genealogy companies. As I've looked through them, if there is anything connected to family history and genealogy, they seem to have found it. And it's an amazing resource. They've also got multiple steps here. You can see A, B. So you have a main goal, goal 1, and then you have choices A, B, learning about the country, and places that you can check to learn. I also want to point out that here above there is a tracker, and if you are a crazy organization nut like I am, you'll really love this stuff. This gives you the opportunity to keep track of what you're learning. And so this is a tracker that say, hey, I've gone through goal number 1. You can make notes. You can use the status bar to say, yes, I've started. I'm getting better at it. And by the time you finish that, I feel proficient in this, which is helpful because then you can help yourself. You can kind of track where you are. But you can also help patrons that come into the library. Okay, one last resource that I want to show, and there again, this shows up in some of the countries and some of them it doesn't, but the geography, culture, history, if there is a section in the country that you're looking at, come down here, there are sometimes areas that say for kids, and this Ducksters is an education site that has these 3 tabs usually, and I have used this especially during this quarantine as I have worked with people in my neighborhood, and I've been able to create little games or little activities for their little people. And it's been really fun. You can just use this site, get brief history, geography, and then create little games that will draw the little people in these families in just very small ways, whether it's a word search, whether it's a very easy geography game, something like that. So look for ways to draw in the families or people that you're helping. Look for easy ways to do that. Okay, so let's go on, and this is going really, really fast. There is so much packed into this family history guide. It's amazing. So let's go back to the countries tab. As I said, this main page right here, there's 61, and these countries are the big ones that have lots of information to explore. Let's now go to this more countries that Sister Tanner showed us about a couple months ago. These are the countries that have a few resources, but not enough for big pages. Here, right here, you see a breakout, a 2-letter breakout that tells you where these places are located. And as you look through this, you look at it and say, "Gal, maybe you've never heard of some of these countries, like I've never heard of some of these." So I just picked one. This one right here, I'm not even sure how to pronounce it, but I know that it's in Africa. So we're going to learn about it really quick. So I click on it. And here it is right here, and I go to my favorite place first, which is Wikipedia. And first thing I want to do is learn to pronounce this. So this is really fun because you get to learn. So let's
Djibouti.
Okay, let's hear that one more time.
Djibouti.
Okay, it sounds like they're saying Djibouti. So it all kind of...
Djibouti.
There we go. Djibouti. Okay, let's go back here, and let's find out where that place is. I love Wikipedia for the fact that you can always figure out where it is. So right here it looks like, okay, it is on the eastern coast of Africa, right there. So that gives you kind of an idea of where you can find this, and you can help someone, maybe someone that comes in, or maybe yourself as you run down a line that maybe you've never heard of in your family. Okay, let's go back now to countries, and let's take a look at that ethnic category. Remember I told you there were, I'm not real good at this. Okay, let's stay right here. There are 6 categories. African American, Asian, Basque, Hispanic, Jewish, and Native American. And each of these categories have specific records that deal with these ethnicities. Some ethnicities have more records and some have less. The trick is to know that they are available. And I know living in this area, sometimes we will have more records. We will run into more ethnicities than others. I know that around here, I tend to not run into very many African Americans, but I have run into more patrons looking for Jewish records and Native American records. I did grow up with a girl whose whose father was Basque, and so I had a little bit of information. At least I knew where Basque people came from. But just there again, be aware that we do have those resources available. And also along with the Family History Guide, and this giving us opportunities to know where to look rather than throw our hands up in the air when somebody comes in and we're not quite sure where to go. We can always go here, and we can also go to the Family Search Wiki. The last section I want to cover, and this has been crazy fast, is the country's knowledge base. And there we go. And also remember, there is more than one way to get to all of these places. But if you know what a knowledge base is, in anything we do, knowledge base is usually a place where you'll find tips, guidelines, and definitions. And this one is no different. As you can read there, you find tips, guidelines, and definitions, and more for your family history research in countries worldwide. So let's take a look. If you click on the green right here, say for Argentina, that will take you straight to that page. And the goal, like goal number 1, straight for Argentina. So let's go back to the knowledge base. So if we clicked on the about, that's going to tell us about any country. So let's just click on a different country for the heck of it. Let's go down and let's learn about Ecuador. So Ecuador is officially the Republic of Ecuador. It's a country in northwestern South America, bordered by Colombia on the north, Peru on the east and south, and the Pacific Ocean on the west. Ecuador also includes the Galapagos Islands in the Pacific, about 1,000 kilometers west of the mainland. The capital city is Quito, and the largest city as well. Okay, so that source was Wikipedia. So that's about Ecuador, and right now that is the only thing in the knowledge database for Ecuador. So let's also see what else we can learn. So let's scroll down a little bit, and oh, this catches my eye, Finland. What can we learn about cemeteries in Finland? I know I've a couple of times had patrons come in asking about cemeteries in Finland because they had ancestors that they couldn't find their headstones in Finland. So let's learn about the cemeteries. It says cemeteries and churchyards keep records of the locations of graves. Graves are often reused after 25 years, and the tombstones are replaced. But the cemetery records generally provide both birth and death dates of everyone who has been buried there. And the source there is the Family Search Wiki. So that gives me a clue of maybe why my patrons could not find actually the headstones themselves, but they could go back to the cemetery or the churchyard and possibly find the records providing the birth and death dates of their ancestors, just not necessarily the headstones, and also realize that possibly they wouldn't find, actually their ancestors would not still be buried in that cemetery. So that was the quickest training ever, but as you can see, the Family History Guide has a wealth of information. And the information is being added all the time. I barely scratched the surface with this training. The challenge now is for you to go forward and take the time to learn more about how the Family History Guide can help both you and your patrons in your family history research. So as always, I invite you to also check out the BYU Family History YouTube channels and check out our BYU Family History webpage. Look for our in-depth webinars, our short videos, and anything related to our BYU Family History homepage. Also realize at this time, this is 2020, nothing is normal, but we are doing virtual classes on Sundays. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.